Good morning. This is Aunt Beth. Welcome to my lamppost, the light that I'm currently living in. This morning, I wanted to talk to you about decisions and making decisions and one of the life hacks that I use. But before I get started, I wanted to remind you that I'm starting to put the scriptures that I'm using down in the description, if you click on the word more after the title. And then if you wanted to do your own Bible study and check me out, which I would encourage, don't play pelican and swallow anything that comes along. But it will be there for you so that you can check that out. So today is more of a pep talk for myself and a mom talk for you. So I wanted to talk about decisions, and life can get rather overwhelming sometimes. But the Bible does have some comments. Sometimes God's so tactful that you can just ride right over the top of it, and you miss it. But he does have some comments for us in his word on how to make decisions. But what I heard an acronym once, H.A.L.T. Don't, when you're coming up on a decision, especially a major one, don't make decisions when you're hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. This is usually not the right one, and you'll pay for it later down the road. I want to encourage you that as hard as it is, most emotions should not be emotionally driven, but follow after the Lord. Follow after his leading. My dad, when he was making decisions, he was very analytical. He would draw a line down a piece of paper and pros and cons. And he would list all the pros and cons on each side. And then he would pray. Okay, so his decisions were based a lot of times on fact. All right, as well as the leading of the Lord. But let me tell you a quick story that I hope helps you as far as sorting through how this works. And it's all based on a scripture in Colossians 3:15. And it's very subtle, but it says, "And let the peace of God rule in your hearts." And when you go into the Greek, that word rule means arbitrate, govern, act as an umpire. And the peace of God, that word peace means peace, but it also means quietness, rest, and contentment. Quietness, rest, and contentment. So a lot of times when your gut, you just don't, you're very restless, you don't feel right about it, that's usually a warning sign that this is not the right path to take. Okay, there's something that has to be resolved, or that's the bad decision, Maybe it's a condition of the decision. I don't know. So, there's a couple ways for me to tell this story, but I think I'll tell a story on myself. But back in the dark ages, when I was in college, I had a decision to make about what major, to choose. I'm blessed that I was able to go to college. And one path was English. I like to read, and English was for me an easy A if I needed to up my grade point. And the other was technical. okay, which I'm not necessarily gifted in, but I liked it because it was hard and it explained things. So I sat in a quiet place, actually the science building, and I just got in no distractions, just got into a quiet place and checked my heart. And I imagined myself choosing one path and checked my gut. How does that feel? Am I upset on the inside, or is this okay? And then I closed my eyes and I imagined myself making the other decision for a technical degree. And I closed my eyes and made it, check my gut. And it felt right. It felt right. And it was not easy. I had a lot of catch up to do. I had basically running between 19 and 21 credits the rest of my college life, okay, and short-term semesters and everything else to catch up. And then when I got out of school, I couldn't find a job because the recession had hit Michigan. So, there you go. But I'd made a decision, and my father, to his credit, said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, Dad." I prayed about it, and he let it go. So 2.5, 3 years of impossibly hard work at school to catch up on my required credits. And then I got out of school and I couldn't find a job. But eventually I did get one. That's how come I moved out to the East Coast. And I only worked in my technical degree for 4 years. But what that meant was I was able to have so many different career options, and it also taught me how to think that I wouldn't have had any other way. And it put me in a wonderful place, and financially, to be honest, but also because I moved out to the East Coast, I had all these experiences I would have never had any other way. I met people, I traveled, I was so blessed. Because of travel, I was able to adopt 2 kids from a foreign country. And it was just a fantastic experience. I don't know as I would have had any other way. But those first couple of years after making that decision were rough. However, the peace of God protected my heart because I knew I had made the right decision. Okay? It protected my heart. In all of this, I never questioned if I had made the right decision because I knew I had. So my mom talk to you is to, when you have a big decision, get to a quiet place, put the phone down, iPad, move it out of the room, whatever, get quiet. Imagine yourself making one decision and check your gut. Are you restless on the inside, or are you okay with that decision? And then close your eyes and think about the other decision. Are you restless, or is there peace in your heart? Okay, the word says that integrity will guide you and righteousness will direct you. But you have to shut out the noise and listen to your gut. I'm not talking about emotions. I'm not talking about emotionally based decisions. I'm not talking about following after the Lord. There's a couple red flags that, people will try and hurry you into a wrong decision. And that's not easy. And a decision that's based out of fear or emotion is almost always the wrong one. A lot of times people don't necessarily have your best interest at heart. So they are going to make the decision that they want you to make for them. I would be concerned. Okay. If anybody's trying to bully you or won't let you ask questions, those are red flags. Anytime you make a decision out of anger because you're really mad at a person and you want to get them, that's probably a very bad decision. I would wait on that. Following your gut doesn't mean following your emotions. I'm using the words follow your gut to explain how to follow the leading of the Lord. You can practice. In fact, there's a very famous book written by a monk in the 15th century, I think, Brother Andrew, called Practicing the Presence of the Lord. You can practice which way you go to work. And the fathers start talking to you as far as avoiding accidents, whatever. Sometimes I'll feel like I should ask them what colors to wear to work. Why is that? Because people are triggered by colors. And maybe the color you're wearing makes you more approachable and somebody will talk to you and share their heart. Okay? So it's not about you, really. It's about following after the Lord. It's all about God. And He knows the future. He's already in the future. So he can tell you the right way to go. Don't be afraid. God has your best interest in heart. For me, those years in college, man, it sure didn't look like it. It was hard, And afterwards, I think it was a year and a half, 2 years before I found a job, in my career. I was working. I worked 3 jobs in order to keep my head above water. But they were part-time jobs, and it was busy. But I had the peace that protected my heart the whole time. So don't be afraid of a hard decision, because the peace of God will protect your heart. So He knows the future. He's already living there. He has rear view 2020 vision. And I'd encourage you to seek Him out. Let the peace of God rule your heart in making your decisions. You'll be blessed. You won't be sorry. You got this. All God's best. You have a fabulous day.